I finished watching Diddy's documentary, The Reckoning, yesterday, but there's some things that I still can't get off of my mind.
What's up, everyone? From the top of the charts to the top of the most watched list on Netflix. The story of Sean Diddy Combs isn't just a fall from grace, it's a full-blown explosion. Today, we're breaking down Sean Combs' The Reckoning. We're talking never-before-seen footage from the days before his arrest, shocking new claims about the murders of Tupac and Biggie, and the testimonies that have changed his legacy forever. Seat tight, let's dive into it. Just so you know, this isn't just any documentary. It's produced by none other than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Yeah, you heard that right. A man who's had a 2-decade-long feud with Diddy is now exposing with this documentary about his downfall. 50 Cent told Good Morning America that if he didn't speak up, it would seem like hip-hop is fine with Diddy's behaviors. But the real controversy started before the doc even dropped. It shows private, vulnerable footage of Diddy in New York hotel room just 6 days before his September 2024 arrest.
Thinking it could be somebody that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business of media and propaganda.
We see him on the phone with his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, saying, "I don't think it's working. We're losing." So how did Netflix get this footage? Diddy's team says it was stolen. A filmmaker named Michael Oberles, who was working on an authorized Diddy project, claims a third party who was covering for him for 3 days took the footage and gave it to Netflix. His reps have sent a cease and desist letter threatening legal action. Netflix and director Alexandria Stapleton fire back. "It came to us. We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights." 50 Cent put it even more bluntly. He was documenting himself on his way to jail. A classic case of they said, but one thing's clear. This footage shows a man who saw the walls closing in.
Puffy, listen, nothing you say is going to shut me up. At first, I got 7 cease and desist letters from Puffy's team. They said we used footage illegally and threw a $120 million lawsuit at me. Even my lawyer told me it would cost more to win the case than to make the film. But I knew one thing, if even I backed down, then every victim behind this story would stay in the dark, carrying shame they never deserved. I didn't make this documentary for money. It wasn't about some personal feud with Puffy. I wanted to give the people who can't speak, the ones trapped by money and fear, a place where their truth could finally breathe. So I held my ground. But I didn't expect that once I survived the first hit, the real hell would start. My editor began receiving anonymous letters. Some came with bullets, some had blood on the envelope. She was terrified. She told me this wasn't a documentary anymore, this was a war. And I knew wars don't start on their own. Someone has to fire the first shot. Puffy called me shameful. Some people said I was chasing clout. But they forget something. When a man uses power to silence dozens of voices, someone has to break that door open. I just happened to be the one with the fist. And I happen to not be scared of the pain.
The documentary goes way beyond recent lawsuits, digging into the darkest chapter of hip-hop history, the murders of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. One of the most startling voices is Kirk Burrowes, the co-founder of Bad Boy Entertainment. Burrowes, who managed the money and Combs' personal life, kept handwritten journals for everything. For the first time, we see these journals, and they tell a chilling story. Burrowes claims Combs was insanely jealous of the friendship between Biggie, his own star artist, and Tupac. The doc then plays a taped police proffer session with Duane Keffe D. Davis, the man now charged with Tupac's murder. On the tape, Keffe D alleges that a year before the murder, Combs told a whole room full of gents that he would give anything for the deaths of Suge Knight and Tupac. He separately alleges Combs offered a $1 million bounty for their deaths. But it gets more specific. Burrowes' journal shows entries from August and September 1996, just before Tupac was killed in Las Vegas. He wrote that Combs requested they rent cars to drive from New York to Vegas for a Mike Tyson fight, a request Burrowes found bizarre given the distance. The implication laid out by the documentary is damning. Diddy has always denied any involvement in Tupac's death, but the documentary asks the question Kirk Burrowes answers directly. I believe he had a lot to do with the death of Tupac. Fast forward to 2025. Diddy is on trial for federal charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking. The documentary features interviews with two of the actual jurors from that trial, a rare and revealing look inside the jury box. One male juror, Juror 75, spoke about Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, which sparked the Me Too movement in hip-hop. He seemed conflicted, saying, "If you don't like something, you completely get out. You can't have it both ways." Another, Juror 160, recalled the moment they reached their verdict on the lesser charges. "My words exactly were, OS." In July 2025, the jury found Diddy not guilty of racketeering, conspiracy and sex trafficking, but guilty on 2 counts of transportation for prostitution. He was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison. Right now, he's serving his time at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey and has been granted a fast-tracked appeal that could wrap up by spring 2026. The documentary is packed with testimonies from former artists and employees, many telling their stories for the first time. Perhaps the most disturbing is from Aubrey O'Day of Danity Kane. She shares explicit emails she says Combs sent her while she was his employee. She believes she was fired for refusing his sexual advances. Even more haunting, she reads from an affidavit where another alleged victim describes walking in on Diddy and another man assaulting an incapacitated O'Day. O'Day is left with a devastating question on camera. "Does this mean I was raped? I don't even know if I was raped, and I don't want to know." Others, like former assistant Capricorn Clark and bad boy artist Mark Curry, detail a culture of fear, intimidation, and alleged violence. Director Alexandria Stapleton says she spoke to many people off record who were too afraid to go on camera, stating, "Combs' tentacles spread very wide.